Yeah, there's only so much makeup can do. Steven's in the shot. Alright! Alright, so the delayed viewing of Phantom of the Paradise has been completed with an extra working on his fanfiction?
Surfing the web.
Were you working on your fanfiction?
No.
So you weren't productive at all. Okay, just checking. So, Phantom of the Paradise.
I was actually reading something important.
Show of hands, who's heard of this movie? It's a bit of an obscure one by Paul Verhoeven? Paul Verhoeven, yeah, the guy who made Carrie and other things, I'm sure. He's done a lot, but Carrie is the big one that most people have heard of. And so this is a...
the director's Brian De Palma.
Oh, Brian De Palma? Well, it's definitely the guy who did Carrie. Damn, who's Paul Verhoeven then?
I don't know.
You youth blood.
Some
So,
questions.
Phantom of the Paradise is really hard to describe because it's not quite a riff on Phantom of the Opera, though it clearly does that for parts of it.
Okay, so I brought weird shit to the table. You brought weird shit to the table. You need to step your game up.
Yeah, the family was obscure, but it wasn't that weird.
I mean, it was nowhere near shock treatment levels.
Oh my god, every
But,
time
okay.
I watch a movie with you guys, though, I feel like I'm watching something like there's the deep, dark pits of weird and obscure, and you guys have just reached so far into it,
sorry, honey.
and then you went into the whole next
Sorry,
step.
nope, sorry, honey. I'm sorry to tell you, but Steven and I, we have scraped the surface of the weird shit you
Yeah.
can find.
You have no idea.
That scares me.
That is scary.
You have no
I
idea.
will grant you that the fact that we are only scraping the surface with this 70s rock opera of the Phantom of the Opera plus Faust and fucking Picture of Dorian Gray all mixed in with a Psycho reference.
I mean, the whole
It's nuts.
like kind of storyline, you do really feel bad for what's his face,
Winslow Leach.
because it really is just it's kind of one of those classic tales of. You know, he wants to make it big, but the music industry's like, you look like shit, I'm gonna take you.
It's more like a Ben Stiller movie. Everything that could go wrong does go wrong.
Huh.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they give him metal teeth, for God's sakes. I would
Okay,
hate to see how
so,
his jaw holds
yeah,
everything on. Like,
so Winslow Leach is like a nobody, and he like breaks into the intermission of like a performance by the Juicy Fruits, who are a 50s throwback band in the 70s, which was totally a thing in the 70s, we might add.
Yeah.
It's the rule of 20 years of nostalgia. The 70s are really missing the 50s. The 90s were really missing the 70s. And now that we're in the
full circle to the
now that
90s.
we're in the 10s, we're really missing the 90s.
yeah, really.
But so the Juicy Fruits, like, they finished their performance, and Swan, who is like the megaest producer of all mega producers, is like. And then everyone starts clapping for the Juicy Fruits. Like, everyone was waiting for Swan to clap. He is the guy who runs the room.
Yeah.
So during the intermission, Winslow shows up on his piano and starts playing his little cantata dedicated to the story of Faust. And Swan is like, that is excellent! And he's like, except for the guy playing it, we don't need him.
So they take it and they get the Juicy Fruits to start singing it.
Winslow is not happy.
And he sort of, he basically, like, they kind of frame him before the Juicy Fruits start singing
Really lazy framing.
Yeah, I was just like, oh.
Oh, we found
it is.
drugs!
But this is after he started cross-dressing and everything, so he sang club.
Oh, so while he was trying to get rights back to his music, he bumps into Phoenix, a backup singer who's trying to get like a role singing Faust. And she is, what was her name?
Jessica Harper.
Jessica Harper, who we just saw in Shock Treatment. She played Janet in Shock Treatment. So that is partly why I brought up this movie. Like, I really love this movie, but it came to mind because I was like, holy shit, I know her while watching Shock Treatment. She was in this.
I mean, she has a really beautiful voice.
Oh my
yeah.
god, it's so
like,
amazing.
it just is like, I mean,
Even-
and this sounds
even
weird,
Jay
but
was
I would
distracted
say,
from
like,
his
it's
work.
smooth. Like, that's the kind of...
It's a very
Well,
deep.
I've been over here reading this entire time, so I'm in
What
and
are
out
you
of the movie.
reading?
So
I'm dying.
Cracked articles. Clickhole. Onion.
You said it was important, so now I'm really...
Okay, so
wrong, and wrong.
So according to this, it says her film career is cooled somewhat, likely as directors didn't know how to use this seemingly fragile, ethereal, and always unique talent, though she continues to work steadily in film and on television. Which, she's been in a couple of things.
Well, she was an excellent choice in this.
Yeah, she was fantastic in this and Shock Treatment, but mostly what she's done since Shock Treatment is writing children's books and composing music for children.
But so yeah, Winslow Leach bumps into her and he's like, "Oh yes, you must sing my cantata. This is amazing," and then he gets sent to prison, where they replace his teeth with metal teeth because that is not a thing you should ever do. Your teeth are important to your immune system.
How are they important?
I'm not really sure, but they are. I think it has something to do with white blood cell production.
Really?
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I know that they're linked to the immune system.
Yeah.
And if you lose all your teeth, you get sick really easily.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, when I learned that fact, I was just like you. I was like, that just seems so odd.
Well, because I know that it has to do, like, if you pull teeth,
I didn't even think about
like
It
your
exposes
jaw.
gums, yeah.
Well, no, like your jaw will do something weird, like it becomes like weaker in that spot or something. God, your mom was telling you that.
You found trivia?
Yeah.
Found
The Death Record security guards have files on Alice Cooper, David Geffen, Bette Midler, Peter Fonda, Dick Clark, and Chris Christopherson.
So he breaks out of prison because dope, and he goes nuts, like, because the Juicy Fruits are playing his song, and he hates.
Also, apparently, because his teeth that they removed were what was restraining his psychotic, violent tendencies and physical.
So yeah,
strength,
he goes
so.
fucking
Well,
nuts.
I don't know if it's that or he just hadn't
No,
had
I
the
think
chance
that was
to
just-
lose it
I
yet.
think that was more of a joke we made.
He beat the shit out of some guards, goes to the record production facility, breaks some stuff, is about to set some dynamite, and then like he
It was
It
like
sounds-
he accidentally slips, hooks himself on like
his like sleeve.
yeah, and then turns it on by accident, and then like his face just falls into the record press, and it just like
It sounds really contrived, but like they filmically set it up. Like they show you him slipping, they show his arm getting caught. There's a
Yeah.
security guard with a gun.
and so like you
So like half of his face gets meatloafed, and it wrecks his voice. Like the steam from the press destroyed his vocal cords.
which is really really sad because then all he
He
could
was
do
a
is,
good
like,
singer. Like
Yeah,
he
he
only
was-
sang.
Yeah.
He only sang that one song in the opening, but yeah, he was good.
I don't know, it's
So then he breaks into the Paradise, which is Winslow. No,
no,
Swans.
it's Swans like theater slash.
they
record
called it
center.
his Xanadu, which is another reference to what was that?
Which one?
Xanadu was Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane.
Sure.
Although Citizen Kane might have been referencing something as well. I'm not sure.
Xanadu was a theater.
So he breaks into the Paradise and steals a leather bondage outfit with a really cool.
Okay,
pink
that was
mask.
not a bondage outfit. That was
Okay, but it was a leather
It was-
vest
it
with like
kind
hooks
of
on it.
reminded me
It-
of
it
like
was-
Edward Scissorhands in
It
a
was
way.
it was
but
just
with
a
cape.
leather outfit.
But so like he finds that and becomes the Phantom of the Paradise. No one ever actually calls him that.
Well, one guy did.
Winslow.
The really like fruity hardcore rock.
Oh
like,
yeah. Okay, we should talk about that because again, like last time with Shock Treatment and again with this, we're finding these movies are bizarrely good at predicting shit.
The next
No,
decade
no,
of
no.
music.
Not just that, but they're really like forward in their way of thinking.
Yeah, like-
he was like openly gay. I mean, like let's be honest. And normally, like I think in the '70s, that wasn't something.
No, the
that,
'70s was the first time being openly gay was okay.
Yeah.
really.
The
No,
'80s
I
was
gonna
when
say, like,
the '80s was where the
when it-
kickback happened. But
oh,
so,
the
like,
80s.
so Winslow gets hooked up to a big machine so he can sing again. So there's auto-tune, which was absolutely not a thing in the '70s.
Mhm.
And the guy that Swan gets to play his music, he was looking for like heavy
Glam
heavy
rock.
metal rock, and he ends up with this guy who is like the 1982 compressed into a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, even the blood that he painted on himself had glitter on
Glitter
it.
blood.
Yeah.
It was
Nuts.
so 80s camp in 1975.
Yeah. Apparently, Rod Serling did that opening voiceover.
Really?
That's amazing.
It's a really solid movie.
Yeah, this is really good. Like, as a fan of musicals, I really enjoyed this, especially because all the music was so on point.
Excellent.
So good.
Paul Williams, right?
Yeah.
Paul Williams did most of the music for this, and I guess this was like really early in his career because he was very creative. He had a lot of different styles in this movie.
I will say, like, when we first did this movie, we did it a couple weeks
We
ago.
tried to do it last week,
And it was just
it was
like,
late, and we
I
were
was
sleepy.
tired, and I wasn't really into it, and I didn't really want to watch it to begin with, so I didn't really think I was going to like it. I actually really like this movie. I mean,
It's a good movie. It's
this is
bizarre.
a weird movie.
But it's not weird in the way Shock Treatment is weird. Shock Treatment is weird because it throws a whole bunch of shit at you and you can't fucking keep up.
Right.
This is weird in the way that it just isn't like other movies. It all
It's
makes
just
sense.
strange. Yeah, like, it's not...
It's all cohesive. It just isn't put together
Yeah.
like
There's
most
no
movies
logic
are.
jumps.
Yeah. I mean, there is a little bit, but... And,
Not like Shark Treatment.
there's some really good camera work with, like, split screens that
Oh,
I really
yeah.
Yeah,
like.
they did
Camera
a
work
really
was
nice
amazing.
job on the filmography. I don't know, I would recommend this movie. I don't know if I would watch it with your kids, but I'd recommend it.
No, not with children.
No.
Although I would watch this movie over another movie, over Shock Treatment with kids. This one seems a little less like...
No, Shock Treatment would be more family friendly than this.
How so?
Because Shock Treatment wasn't sexual at all.
Yeah, but Shock Treatment
Shock
would
Treatment
give
was
those
absolutely
kids, like,
sexual.
nightmares.
He was fucking his sister again.
Okay. There was a little bit in that one scene, nothing like Rocky Horror.
I mean,
Rocky Horror,
I do think a lot of the stuff that they do in this movie would go over a kid's head.
Yeah.
So it would...
So would Shock Treatment.
I was
True.
actually thinking a lot of Rocky Horror when I was listening to this.
Well, you kind of get the feeling
and
of Rocky Horror.
This came out the year before.
Rocky Horror.
Yeah, so there's no connection between the two because Rocky Horror, because the movie was based on the Rocky Horror show, the play, which had been running in London for like 5 years before the movie.
Didn't the play actually not have that many good reviews, or was that the original release of the movie?
That was the original release of the movie. The play was immensely well received in London.
I looked into it
we
a little
forgot.
after I went to your show, and Rocky Horror originally wasn't recepted that well,
the movie bombed
but years and years later became this huge thing.
1979, they started doing midnight showings, and that's when it took off.
Yeah, but that's because midnight you get all the weird people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They come out.
Yeah.
Then they can
Weird.
appreciate
They're
this
the
sort of
people who
stuff.
will enjoy that. We also forgot to mention this movie kind of predicted Kiss. 'Cause
Yeah.
When
But it was like
when-
Kiss and kind of like a Romeo and Juliet. Sort
Yeah.
of like
when it was
feel
when
to it.
when Beef, that's the glam rocker. Beef. When
Who
Beef
I was
is
totally, when I first saw him, especially after the whole Frankenstein sewn together thing, I was thinking that, help me out here, Steven, the one dude that was supposed to be like Tim Curry's Perfect Man in Rocky.
Oh, Rocky?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rocky.
That was Rocky.
That's Rocky.
Okay. Alright.
but so like
Shut up, I'm
So
sleepy.
that's when Rocky
So
went wild.
their opening act is to have a whole bunch of like low backup singer people come out onto the stage and like rip limbs off of mannequins that are mixed into the audience near the outcropping stage, and then to take those limbs and put them in like a box and have people pretend to sew them together.
With
And-
these giant ass props.
Yeah, and it's all really elaborate. Like this is
Yeah.
an elaborate stage performance and really actually kind of fucking cool. But they've all got the black and white face paint and they're hamming it up for the crowd. It felt very, I'd say, light Kiss, because Kiss went way more over the top than these people did. But again, Kiss wasn't even close to being a thing when this movie
Kiss
came
played their
out.
first show January 30th, 1973.
Oh. My mistake then.
So this is like the year after they came out then.
Yeah. December 31st, 1973.
Knowing how movies are like filmed and stuff, this probably would have been filmed like right as they were coming out.
Yeah, I still can't imagine that they were intentionally trying to knock off Kiss for this. But so, like, oh, and there's like a giant lightning bolt prop neon sign thing that comes out and zaps the guy to life, and now he's Frankenstein's. There's another classic literature reference.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the thing I was reading.
And so he comes down and starts gyrating his pelvis at the audience because the 80s were so masculine they came right around back to homoerotic.
Oh my.
Basically.
Oh my. I mean, that's Top Gun in a nutshell. They went so over the top with masculinity that they came right back around to gay.
Well, you know what? Thanks to Kenny Loggins, that thing wasn't a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
Danger Zone!
So anyway, Phantom of the Paradise is a good movie. Yo.
That ending, though.
Recommended for fans of the weird. If the weird movies freak you out, don't bother.
But also recommended for anyone who really, really digs music.
Yeah.
Because this is excellent music. The scene where Winslow Leach performs in the beginning is like... That song had to be the kind of song that you, the audience, would feel like, yes, this is a thing that you can... This would be good. This would take off. People would appreciate this.
Right.
And the scene where after he kills Boof with the lightning bolt, which was fucking hilarious, because everyone like that. Because everyone in the audience is like, most metal thing ever! You electrocuted yourself on stage, yeah! And everyone backstage is like, holy shit, he's dead. Get the fire extinguishers.
Fuck.
It's like, close the curtains, close the curtains. Is he dead? He is so fucking dead. So Phoenix has to go out and sing, and again, this is a big moment because she's just going to go out there by herself, no stage performance, and sing.
Yeah.
And that is completely different from what the crowd had just gotten riled up for. So her song has got to absolutely blow them out of the fucking water,
and it did,
in order to impress them. And oh my god, it was so good.
Although that's an interesting thing.
The crowd goes wild.
Another thing predicted was the crazy crowds of the 80s.
Oh my god. Well, that's right up there with Disco Demolition. I mean, come on, an entire stadium
But
full
again,
of people who
they
were
were
just like,
so fucking high that it's just like everything's amazing.
it's like, oh
Everything's
yeah,
so
Swan
fucking
just
green.
Swan just died on stage.
Yeah.
Let's go and grab his body. Woo!
Yeah.
This guy's got a big hole in his chest and he's crawling across the stage and he's got like a burned face. I'm just gonna walk up. What's he doing? What's going on here? I don't know.
It's one of those things where the crowd goes so nuts that they start losing track of what's actually going on.
And they just get on the stage and just... It turns into this giant, like, mosh pit.
Yeah, it basically was a giant mosh pit. Except
was
with less injuries.
And you know what? The movie is surprisingly short. It's only an hour and 40.
Yeah.
It's like, for a movie with this much in it...
They pack a lot.
I feel like there's more than an hour and 40 minutes of story here.
Yeah.
Because there's like this whole like pre-Paradise section, and it just feels like so much fucking happened.
Yeah. Well, that's just good editing.
But you
That
don't
is-
feel like you really got bombarded with stuff. It feels like it does
Right.
tell a good story.
It's just
I mean,
very well done.
Sometimes movies, when they're have like a shorter time span,
You
it's
feel like they might have skipped
they're
some
just like,
steps.
pow, pow. It's like,
It's like, how did we
stuff.
get here? Oh, that was the thing Swan was big on. Swan was like a huge voyeur who recorded fucking everything going on.
Oh
in
my
his
God.
places on cameras. So like there'd be like camera footage that he'd review of like insane angles, but then they'd cut to where that camera was sitting
Yeah.
in like people's dressing rooms, and we're like, well, at least we know how we got that shot.
Yeah, so it...
There's a lot of little details in here. Like, you don't see Swan until like a third of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
Well, you see him a
You
little
see his
bit.
hands, but then like when he comes out and like he's in the mirror, like you see him in
You see
mirrors
him
a lot.
when he's auditioning those people.
Yeah, that's in the mirror. Like you see him in the mirror, then it pans across to his actual face.
Yeah.
Swan made a deal with the devil through a mirror. So I don't know. It's just the you can turn it down, you know.
No, actually, that phone won't let me turn that off.
The symbolism is excellent
Yeah.
in this movie. Just absolutely excellent, and there's some actually really funny bits too. I don't know.
Overall, it's very good.
It's an excellent movie. I do not regret buying it for this evening at all. It was actually a lot harder to get for a movie night than I was expecting it to be. But I managed to get it on Google Play for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
What'd you pay for it?
$10.
That's not bad actually.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
not
You
bad.
save money not getting it physical and shipped.
Yeah.
Alright, I really dig this movie, so...
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah,
Recommend it.
recommend
I
it.
feel
I
like
was
that's
in and
really
out.
one of the
I'm on the
first like
fence.
few movies like that all three of us are like, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely go see.
yeah, we're all on board for this. Yeah, full recommend.
They're on board for
If
this.
you can find it.
If you can find
Yeah,
it.
that's the little caveat.
It's on Google Play, so if you don't mind having a digital copy, you can get it there easy. Night all.
Why do you